So Asian comics, as my mom would say, don't forget your culture.
I would describe So Asian Comics as I guess you would say it's a way to make our Filipino Chinese culture relevant in today's society, and it's a mirror into our culture through through the lens of humor.
Initially, we planned it to be like So Chinese comics, but it was all in the works. So I think So Asian Comics is a very personal thing for me. It's something that we created, based off our own families, our own lives. So something like a slice of life. But for me, in the bigger picture, a lot of people, I guess, how should I say this? They like it because it's very relatable. It's also something that they associate with. Yeah. I also think that it's something very relevant now because the younger generation, they don't understand the culture very much. So with this is something in a lighter tone that they can understand and they can relate to. So it's a bit more it's funnier if you check out the page.
Started as a joke. The backstory of that was there was this one time that I went to this Filipino Chinese retreat. And little did I know that sometimes a lot of people, they go there to meet potential partners in life. But it just so happened that when I went there, I saw people that I know who are from other churches. Like, oh, so why are you here? It's like, oh, my mom forced me to go here. I'm like, oh, why is that? And then I realized, oh, okay. So aren't there anybody in your church? So yeah, the joke happened where I went back from the retreat. And then I think it was my mom or my dad. They greeted me. They were like, so bo pa ba? Or it means na wala pa ba? And I told Kim about it, and it became a running joke between us. And then a year later, where I decided to just illustrate it with my dad. That's actually my dad as the main character of So Asian Comics. And then from there, and then when I illustrated that was where the Bo Papa joke came out. That became our very first comic for So Asian Comics.
We posted it and hindi namin akalain na wow, dami nag-share. So
the
next day I was like, do you want
to
to continue this? I think it's something that a lot of people would share. I guess it's something na it's an overnight thing. It's social media. Everyone can see it. Once you post it, you can't delete it anymore. So we started brainstorming for ideas na parang, oh sige, let's do this idea, let's do that idea, and then
people started suggesting as well. Like, oh, this happens in our family. And it's like, oh, actually this happens in our family too. So hence that became the content for
next few comics, I guess. So yeah. So as for me to continue and to add to that, like So Asian Comics started out as a joke talaga. I swear it's a joke. That became really big. Na we really didn't expect this. It's a good reception in a way. We haven't had much of like a bad reception naman. We try to stay relevant, and at the same time we try to make it syempre sensitive naman kami sa mga sensitive topics. We know how to deal with it. We know how to, execute it in a way na it doesn't sound bad, doesn't look bad.
Well,
you
first
go first.
of all, audience reception was very positive. People are like, oh my gosh, like no one's ever made comics for the Filipino Chinese community. Like, oh yeah, the closest thing to that would be the old Master Q comics.
It's not really, well, it's not made here.
It's more of Hong Kong. It's Hong Kong
and
Chinese.
then it's popular among Chinese people around the world. And then it's very nice to hear stuff like people would tell us na you're the old Master Q of the Philippines. So it's very nice. That's what keeps us going. And at the same time, yung parents namin, they can't really do anything about it. It's already there. It's already there. It's already up.
And at the same time, it's like, there are lots of ideas started flaring up. Like, oh, we want to do this. So it's actually, it's a fun project for us to do as well. And actually to see, the comment section where people react to it. And it actually inspires us to put out more content as well. So from then on, we've expanded after a year.
And we didn't realize how positive the reception was, or how much people know about us it was until the time, I started going to weddings, I started going to events, and then, people would introduce me as, oh, hey, this is Kim, she does this for a living, and then, oh, by the way, she's also So Asian Comics. And then people would go crazy, like, wow, that's you?
Same
so
thing.
it's very, I guess, I'm flattered, and at the same time, very grateful then, so.
Same thing on my end when it comes to wedding receptions and all that. My brothers would introduce me as the co-author of So Asian Comics, and people would see the resemblance to the main character and my dad, and they're like, oh my gosh, can we take a selfie with him as well?
Yeah, there was actually a time na people took selfies with his dad, so it's that.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that.
Actually, let me think.
Or
I think there were some initial struggles, but it was more of how should we execute it? Should we make it a narrative, or should we make it like a slice of life thing? When it comes to general, let's say, creative direction as well. So we were thinking if we should go with that modern Asian pop feel, or should we go for that
old school
Chinatown feel. So we decided if it's possible to blend both worlds.
Yeah.
Hence the visuals that you see in our comics, where it's a touch of old Chinese classics, but at the same time it's a pop of colors inspired by modern pop.
Every time you start something, whenever you start anything like a business, an idea, anything, it's really, really hard because you're starting from scratch. You don't have anything. You don't have a manual. You don't have templates. So you have to really think and innovate. And as on our end naman, we don't really have problems like drawing it. Like we were artists since we were young, so there's no problem with that. But I guess the main struggle would be how to execute it properly, how to make it a bit more sensitive to readers that aren't Chinese, and I guess churning out ideas, that's really hard itself. How to make it funny, how to make it relevant, and how to make it shareable on Facebook and other social medias.
I think one would be that it touches upon a lot of topics that you don't see on media that much, or it's represented by people who are not Chinese. So that's why I guess it's a refreshing take now. Oh, we get to see the Filipino Chinese culture from our lens mismo.
Apart from making it like it's a joke and all that, I think it's also relevant to like preserving the heritage and stuff like that. So it's really nice. We have like older generations reading our comics, and they say, oh, this is really nice. So the younger generation would understand what it's like. The digital platform, like social media, it's a very big thing right now. I think everyone knows that. And as for us, it's a very powerful tool for artists. It's very timely, I guess, for us to be on social media, because one share, you don't know where it goes. So
I think So Asian Comics became viral via organic means. People just like, oh my gosh, like I relate to this, and then hence I share it, and other people in their community think, oh, what is this? And then they started sharing it as well. So when it comes to comics in the digital age, I think it's still relevant. It's still relevant, especially when it touches upon topics that people can relate to. So the Filipino Chinese heritage and lifestyle is one of those, and that was why I guess the virality was very natural, because a lot of people can relate to it.
Oh, we actually have a lot of non-Chinoy readers, so we didn't expect that. We really didn't expect that. It's also something that they would tell us now. Oh, it makes me appreciate your culture even more. It's lighter, it's more relevant, it's more. I guess millennials, like it's for millennials. So.
And at the same time, the merchandise that we put out, and so as the comics as well, a lot of our non-Chinese readers, they would tag their Filipino Chinese friends, like, hey, this is you, reminds me of you. Or sometimes when we put out our sticker packs, for example, they will buy it for oh, I'm buying this for my Filipino Chinese friends. Like, oh, okay. So I guess it's the first of its kind in attempting to represent our culture, the Filipino Chinese culture, in the realm of social media, arts, and the digital stage, basically. And it's actually nice to hear that we're the first ones to attempt doing so. And at the same time, I get a lot of people saying that it's so refreshing to see something like this, and it's different, it's original, and it's refreshing to see proper representation for the mass market as well.
I wanted to run long, and I wanted to stay relevant. You know, people would still be interested, you know, throughout the years. So I think that's one goal I have in mind for now. So I would also like it to, you know, leave, you know, the heritage to younger generations, because sometimes, you know, I see them, they're just very different already. There's this Chinese proverb: if you don't remember your roots, it's like being a tree with no roots. Am I right? So, you know, my mom would always tell me that, you know, don't forget your culture. It's actually in our sticker pack. Don't forget your culture. She would always tell me that, because, you know, your culture is your foundation. It's also your way of looking back. Go global. I think that's the second one. Go global. Bigger audience. I guess we would have to, you know, widen our you know, our content,
our reach.
our reach. So, you know, that's another goal. But, you know, we just started out last year, so we have big dreams. We have big dreams.
You know, when you're starting out on something as a budding entrepreneur, first things first, you have to be prepared for the pressure that you will face, and you have to be prepared for the sleepless nights trying to get your business off the ground. And thirdly is that you have to do a lot of research. Are you sure do you know your market well? Are you sure that your services or your product would sell? Because sometimes a lot of people would put up a business and then only to find out that there's no market for their services or products. So that's something to watch out for as well.
Know what you're getting into, and like what Cedric said, you have to take the risk. You know, if you're always afraid to, you know, do all these things, nothing will happen.
Yes.
For me, my motto in life right now is, you know, if you don't have action, nothing will ever fly, because it will always be a dream.
So if you stand out, make sure you stand out in a big way, and
in a positive way.
In a positive way that would reflect upon, you know, society today.
I think if it's your own story, you have to tell it, because it's something, you know, close to your heart. It's personal.
And it's something only you know about.
Yeah, and it's gonna end up being more passionate. Like, you know, when you tell it, it has a lot of passion. It's more accurate, and it's, I guess, you know, people would appreciate it more.
You know, sometimes your inspiration can just be like as close as, let's say, your family mismo. You know, it's like, we realize no one's ever done comics about the Filipino Chinese. What my advice would be, sometimes you don't have to look far for great content, for a great story.
Sometimes it's just there.
Sometimes
under
it's
your
just
nose.
there, right under your nose, or in the same place where you live. So, yeah.